In this lecture, I want to discuss two ways for you that I believe are pretty much the easiest ways to help turn your campaign profitable. And I believe that they're easier because they don't really require any further skill besides changing a few buttons or asking a question. So the two ways that I'm talking about is number one, which we'll discuss further, is to simply decrease your bids. So what do I mean by that? Well, when we first launched our campaign on MGID, remember how you set up the ads and I said that your cost per click should be around 30% more than whatever average was listed on this traffic insights chart? Well, if you're bidding 30% more than everyone else, obviously your costs are also going to be higher. And if you decrease your bids, well, then chances are your ROI should improve. Now, this also begs the question, how much should you decrease your bids and so on? So, when you're decreasing your bids, what I recommend is that you decrease it by 10% every 24 hours. So what do I mean? If your initial bid was 10 cents per click for that ad, simply go into your ads and edit it so that your now new cost per click bid is 9 cents. And I would recommend you do that once every 24 hours or so. Let it run, so let the settings actually be put into place by MGID's system. Let it run for 24 hours and then look at your results again. Now, ideally, you should continue to do this until you see a drop in traffic. So, for example, let's say your initial bid was 10 cents per click and you got 500 visitors per day based on your targeting. What I would do is change my ad bid to 9 cents, let it run for 24 hours, and see if I'm still getting the same amount of traffic. Typically, you should, and if you're getting the same amount of traffic, then I would do that again the next day and drop it by another 10 cents from the initial total. So I would drop it to 8 cents the next day. That is, in my opinion, one of the easiest ways to help improve your ROI. So, in my opinion, you should give that a shot in the beginning, especially so you don't bleed as much money right away. And of course, you could always increase your bids in the future once you start using the other strategies I share with you to increase your ROI. And if you want to be more aggressive and increase volume, you could do that in the future. Another easy way to increase your ROI is to simply get a payout bump. So, for example, like with this campaign, I believe the first payout was $1.75 per lead. And when I got my first payout, I also got a payout bump by the affiliate manager, and he bumped my earnings to $2. So a 25% increase, 25-cent increase, excuse me. So just those two things alone, just decreasing my cost and then getting a little payout bump, those are probably the easiest things you can do to increase your ROI. To get a payout bump, you will need to have conversions in place. They don't care. The affiliate network doesn't care if you're profiting. They just care that you're getting legitimate leads and sales, and then they'll pay you whatever term was set for that offer. And once you have a few conversions in and you have a payout request or so, they typically will increase your earnings per sale or earnings per lead, or you could even ask them straight up. You could also ask them what limits you need to hit or what kind of numbers you need to do in order to get a payout bump or your next payout bump. And you could also ask them what other further milestones you need to hit in order to increase that payout bump. Again, your affiliate manager is like your business partner. So you should be discussing with them, hey, what do they need in order to help you out? And what do you need to do so you can help them, and so on. Now, one thing to keep in mind when you first launch your campaign, I wouldn't do any of these two strategies yet until 3 days or so have gone by. And the reasoning for that is because I like to see the volume and data come in those 3 days and to see kind of what sort of average I get. You wouldn't really want to do this on day one or day two because you don't have enough data yet. And one day's results can alter different, can be way different than the other day. For example, Saturday could perform way worse or much better than a Monday. Depends on the targeting and the offer and so on. So just keep that in mind. Let the campaign run for like 3 days or so before you start trying to implement any of this. Of course, in this example, I let my campaign run before I did anything here. And the reason for that, that's just my preference because I had other campaigns running. And sometimes I just like to collect more data and I don't really care about losing money, fortunately, because I have other campaigns and other stuff going on. But just keep that in mind, especially when you're new and you have a budget to look out for. Don't probably you probably don't want to let it run for like 10 days or so before you actually try anything to turn it around. So I hope that helps. I'll discuss more strategies with you that should increase your ROI even further. But in my opinion, those are like the two easiest things you can do. They don't really require any thinking pretty much or any major skill to learn. So hope that helps. Try that out when you first launch and let me know how that goes. Hope that helps. This is Paulo Purdue from libertyblueprint.com. Take care.